Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Common right here. You are now in tune with Sports Rap Live right here on Sports Talk 790 AM. iHeartRadio, y'all stay in tune with it. All right?
Shout out to Common. Of course, you guys saw Common play professional basketball for the New Jersey Nets in the movie, was it Just Right? Wasn't it the movie Just Right?
I don't know.
Just Right, yes. Yes, of course, his love interest was Queen Latifah, and I don't blame him, because Queen Latifah looks better today than she did when we were coming up.
Again, I don't know.
She gets hot with age.
I don't know.
No? Not feeling Latifah?
That's not for me. I'm not saying it's not right. I'm just saying it's not for me.
Okay. All right.
What's right for you, just out of curiosity?
I don't know.
You don't
want to give your type out on the air?
I never knew you were confused about that kind of a thing.
Okay. It's more of I know it when I see it.
We may need to have.
I don't want to see it either, buddy. Let me tell you.
Oh, okay.
We may need to have Sports Rap Live, The Bachelor, with DTI.
That's not a bad idea.
Which one? There's a lot of them.
There's a few, but we're going to start with you.
Start with
DTI all the way.
Starting with the consummate bachelor.
Okay.
So if any ladies are interested in Andrew Martinez,
there's a screening process.
Yes.
You're probably not going to make the cut.
Well, we'll have him come right here to Junction Bar and Grill live.
24 hours of sports
and we'll
center.
judge him ourselves. How about that?
Okay.
You won't even get to see him. We'll actually be the panel, and then you'll be in a separate room, and we'll send them out there.
But I'll tell the truth.
After they pass.
And telling the truth with the girls, that's not a good idea.
We're going to do the whole contest thing and then present you with Queen Latifah at the end of the process.
She's got money. I'll have a good dinner.
All right. Well, let's open up the rap sheet. Hey, shout out to Allie. It is Shout Out Sundays. It's not so much Yo-Yo Sundays tonight.
Not at all.
No, we have Allie here. It's very nice to have you here on a Sunday night. And we are at Junction Bar and Grill, 160 West Gray. My man Jack Freeman just rolled through. Of course, we saw Jack last night at the Fly Fest, which I thought was a great collection of artists. I just wish, I know it's not a Thursday night, but I'm giving the fans, the hip-hop community of Houston, the fans, a bad rap, because what a great collection of talent. What a great event. The opportunity to pack numbers out. Nothing else was really going on last night, and it was us, and we had a good time. So, but Jack is in the building. Jack's going to jump on with us in just a little bit, but we got to open up the rap sheet, brought to you by Houston's top DWI lawyer, Gary Trichter. Exactly right. And if you have a car club and you're out there cruising around after you leave Junction Bar and Grill, hey, you might want to have Gary Trichter's number in your phone, and I'm going to give that to you in just a little bit. But right now, we got to get into our NBA wrap-up. As, hey, we start with the marquee matchup we saw today, and we mentioned at the top of the show, a tale of two halves. I really thought the Heat were in for another ass-whooping after watching them and their lack of, except for LeBron. See, this is the thing. We always can say LeBron played his butt off. He might not want to take the last shot, or he might want to dish for the last shot, but he plays his butt off. He's always there on every play. But I was not too sure about Dwayne Wade and his intentions or efforts for the Miami Heat.
Danny Granger needs to keep his mouth shut. Did you hear him at halftime? He said that they're basically their sort of strategy was to let LeBron get his and try and stop everybody else. If you just let everybody else stop everybody else with their sort of defense, then LeBron will finally peter out eventually. And that was not the case. I mean, they got lit up by him and Dwayne Wade and went down the stretch.
Well, as I mentioned, Kadoma, you saw the notes before the half was even over. I said that LeBron and D-Wade have to score 70 points for the Heat to even have a chance, and that's exactly what they scored.
And what's scary is, I don't know how many times they can do that, though. This seemed like a one game where they finally got it together and they finally got on the same page. But the question is, they already have, okay, now the series is tied, right? It's 2-2. Do you think they can do that two more times? I think they can. I don't think they will, though.
It's going to be a labor. It's going to be a struggle.
Really is. I mean, today they really struggled to get that 70 points on the board. I think it was 70, 75, or what was it?
Between them?
Yeah.
It was 40 and 30. 70 points
70
on
points.
the nose.
I mean, it was really a labor for them to get that much on there. When it's that hard for them to score that many points, I don't like to see that.
Well, we've seen the series now. It's been games, which is 16 quarters, and the Pacers have dictated all but 3 of those quarters. The last quarter in game 1, and then the final 2 in today's game.
Well, I think their youth serves them well in some aspects, and then their youth is kind of their detriment because they start the game playing as a big physical team, and then they kind of get lulled to sleep by the Heat, start running a little bit, and start getting out transition, and Hibbert can't set up.
What are they doing taking threes? They need to go to the block every single time and punish them in the low block. If they do that for the next 2 games, the series will be over. But if they don't, if they start getting 3 happy, because what they need to do is put the ball into the paint and then try and work way around from that. But if they keep on trying to get in transition and run with them, that's not going to work out to their benefit.
Question: did this guy play like an MVP today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, why can't he do that every day? That's the question.
That's the
question.
That is the question of his career.
It really is. It really is. Oh, we got people booing LeBron in the building tonight. Wow. Cut so deep. Cut so deep, man. All right, well, Bun, did you watch any of this game today?
I got to give it up to Collinson, though. He played his heart out. He went in the paint. No fear.
Nick Collison. Not Nick Collison, but what's his name?
Collison.
Yes, Darren Collison for the Indiana Pacers.
Yes,
UCLA point guard.
Nick
He played his heart out, no fear.
Right, guys.
Got in the paint. There was a lot of ill-advised 3-pointers, mostly by Barbosa in the last half, and I just think that kind of gave way for the Heat to make its way and win the game. And I'm afraid that Indiana may have lost momentum here with this game.
My question to you, Bun, was: did you watch the first half? Did Dwayne Wade look like he checked out? He looked like he was still pissed off about the
I think it looked kind of
Spoelstra
like he carried over a little bit of aggression from the last game and didn't, use it properly. I always tell guys, when you're mad about something, take it out on your playing field. If you're an artist
on your
and you're mad about something, take it out on stage. Like, give it everything you got. If you're an athlete, you know what I'm saying, and you got a problem, an issue with something, the best way to show people is by action. Take it out on the court. And I think he came into it a little bit, maybe a little bit worried about it. Couldn't get his things hitting on it. And again, we talked about this earlier. I still think he's more hurt than he's willing to tell anybody. That being said, Indiana didn't come with it like I think everybody expected him to really come in and take charge of this game. I think he spotted that and came back from the second half ready to adjust. I think mentally he was a little bit better prepared, seeing that he wasn't about to just get blown away again. Pause. And and I think they came out and showed that they're still in this thing. And I'm wondering if they may have knocked the wind out of Indiana with this, because Indiana really had the momentum going into this game, and then that last quarter, man, they couldn't make anything stick,
It's 2-on-5 out there, Adam.
It literally is
2-on-5 though, and if their 2 are better than the rest of their 5 like they were today, they're going to win games. I just don't see it though, because what you have to have is Dwayne Wade has to play lights out for a whole second half, and so does LeBron, for them to win. And even then, it was sort of contentious down the stretch. So I think Indiana's still going to win this series.
I agree. It is somewhat 2-on-5 out there, but today Udonis Haslem knocked down a lot of clutch shots.
He did. He was very good today.
So.
You have to have some of those role players, even if it's 10, 12 points. That makes a huge difference when you can spell those guys.
But look who's left out there. Battier's not giving them anything on offense. Neither is Ronnie Churyov. Mario Chalmers, if he's not making threes, he's pretty much worthless out there. Mike Miller has been pretty much a non-factor.
But he's hurt
series.
too. He was holding his back. He looked.
Joel Anthony. I mean, there's really no one they can put out there to go to offense if one of those 2 players isn't out there.
Yeah, and you really, really do need a bench if you want to go all the way to the finals, win it, take it home. Of course, you can have 2 great guys. Jordan and Pippen showed that they could do it, but they really did have a huge supporting cast all the way into the 7th man. And I don't see Miami having that. Miami is a 2-man team right now. I mean, sure, you got people who step up game to game, but it's not consistent. You need that consistent step up from the bench all the time. And I don't know. I mean, I think they'll get past the Pacers, and that's it. We won't see them.
If the Heat lose this series, you know who I blame? Pat Riley, for not giving this team enough depth.
Yeah,
a lot of the Twitter buzz over the weekend has been, if you want to play for the Heat, all you have to do is say that you're a veteran at the end of your career and you're just looking for a ring, and they'll sign you. That's true.
They have no depth.
True.
They really have no depth, and the depth they do have is either inexperienced or veteran to the point of the career's over.
Before we move to the other series in the East, let me ask you guys all this. I want you to all touch on this. Pause. What kind of chance do you give either of these teams as a winner in the NBA Finals? Either Indiana or Miami. Do either of these teams have a shot to win it all?
Well, Miami has a better shot than Indiana.
Yeah.
I don't pick either one of them to win it all, but I think as we look at who's probably going to come out of the West, the reality is, the West Coast Finals are going to be OKC versus the Spurs. I feel like the Spurs are going to take it, and I feel like, the Heat possibly have the best chance of matching up against the Spurs. Indiana has no chance at all of matching up against the Spurs at all.
I would say I agree with Bun, but that's only if Bosch is healthy. If Bosch isn't there, I don't give them a chance to get out of the East. I mean, they'll get eaten up by Boston in their inside game. But I think that if they have Bosch, yeah, that's the better chance. But Indiana Pacers, just way not experienced enough. Just way not enough experience. Coaching-wise, talent-wise, just not enough games underneath their belt.
It's hard to give anyone in the East right now a chance in the finals because you know what it is. The two Western Conference teams that are just on fire right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs, who I believe are on pace for an 18-game win streak tonight, isn't it?
That's my finals.
I mean,
that's my finals.
Wow.
The Western Conference Finals is my finals.
Pretty much. So it's hard to pick anyone in the East over those two teams right now. A lot of postseason basketball, like I saw a poster from a fan today, like the season starts now, the real season starts now. It's all about peaking at the right time. I think the Heat peaked a little bit too early, and now they're becoming plagued by injuries. And the Spurs are peaking right now at the right time. So
if you think about it, this would actually be the end of the regular season right now, pretty much. This would be guys getting ready for the playoffs who have rested for the last couple weeks because it's the end of the regular season and the seat is already in place. You know what I mean? But instead, these guys had to turn right around, start the playoffs, and now they're just in this 82-game realm that they normally would be in.
And I mentioned it on Twitter yesterday. I thought it was kind of funny, a conspiracy theory going back to the Houston Sports Wrap days, that only the Western Conference teams were chosen to play back-to-backs this weekend.
That was
pretty weird.
Well, it's this whole LA schedule. LA is nuts right now with sports.
And that gets a bad rap to me. Why do we have to wait until 9:30 to see a playoff game, given that it's on a weekend? I mean, I guess the players need their time to rest, given it is a back-to-back or a quick turnaround.
I think they're just trying to give them as much time to rest as they can.
You know, for people out on the East Coast, they're up watching basketball till 2 in the morning.
You better believe it.
We're going to go through it with the Olympics, so...
It's like the reverse Yankees-Red Sox. You know, when they play those playoff games and they're up till 2 in the morning, you know? Why do we have to have these games start at like 8 o'clock?
Well, they had to melt the ice from the Kings game, get that out of the way, and then put down
and maybe that's why Westbrook might have slipped on the court.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. But he still came back and had, 37 points today?
Yeah, he slipped and fell on a four-leaf clover. That's what it was.
Exactly.
Nice.
All right, well, hey, before we get to the bottom of the hour, let's talk a little bit about this this next series, which I think it can go 7 games. Sixers, Celtics. It really seems like that type of series. The Hawks played the Celtics this way a couple years ago when they went 7. Sixers are young. They're upstart. They're fast. They get to the hole. They shoot the 3. They have Iguodala.
Huge collapse by the Celtics the other day. That was huge.
Is it a collapse or is it?
I would call that a collapse. They were clearly dictating the game. You know, I mean, how much were they up? I wanted to say they were up a good.
It was 18 points.
Yeah.
18 points.
Yeah, with a squad like the veteran squad like the Celtics, you can't lose an 18-point lead in a playoff game.
No, not at all. Not at all.
This is what Boston does, though, Adam. They play with their food before they decide to eat it. It happens all the time. You see this in so many series, and they've usually come out on the winning end of almost every series this has happened in, you know, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals. This might be the one that nips them, but I don't think it is. They're such a veteran team. I think they have the better players.
This is my favorite coaching matchup. Doug Collins versus Doc Rivers. 2 great coaches, 2 guys who know how to talk to veterans and young guys who get the most out of their talent. So this has been the best coaching matchup, I think, in all
Isn't
the playoffs.
it funny, another AI helping Philadelphia to playoff wins? I'm just saying.
Andre Iguodala. Yep. Speaking of Andre Iguodala, I've seen him rock the foams on the court from time to time. He's on that Nike basketball, and we have a very, very special pair of foams on the table. And if you're watching the podcast, you see the running watermark that goes across here that says Bun B Trill OG. That means look, but don't touch, and don't try to take that picture for your own. You hear me out there, all you little sneakerheads?
It does not
These
belong
are
to
Bun
you.
B, the Trill OG's foam posits. Bun, tell us a little bit about these right here.
Well, this is the Nike Air Foamposite Pro, which is different from the normal Foamposite 1 because it has the swoosh on the body. This particular colorway is metallic silver, black, and bright crimson. If you look at the bottom, he's showing there's probably a rock or 2 in there because I just wore the shoe for the first time in a video with myself, Waka Flocka, Flame, and Ludacris. This shoe does not release until September, if I'm not mistaken. and I got it from the Shoe Fairy
Wow.
because I lost the shoe.
Are those making the gumball trip right there?
Those are not going to make the Gumball trip, even though the colorway is very similar to the Gumball 3000 colorway. The original logo of black and orange, but of course it's not orange, it's crimson. And I don't want to leave those in a hotel room by accident on the road, waking up
with somebody
half-asleep.
else with their own watermark, like.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll be leaving those at home.
So what are you taking to Gumball? Give us just a sneak peek of what you're going to pack.
I have a pair of Gumball Air Force Ones that I designed in Nike Town, London last year, before the start of last Gumball. I designed those to wear on the starting grid this year. I also have a pair of all gold Puma racing shoes that Gumball gave away on the 2010 rally. My everyday shoe will probably be Cement 3s.
Yeah.
You know, anybody that knows me knows me on a daily basis. Probably gonna be wearing Cement 3s, but I'm thinking about packing something. You know, I gotta pack something really crazy because Clark Kent is coming on a rally, and also Futura is gonna be traveling on a rally. So I packed my Livestrong Futura Floms.
Oh, the Flom Dunk.
To get the Flom Dunk box signed. So then I'll have the
oh wow.
I'll have the cartoon. I have the cartoon Livestrong's already signed, so I'm trying to get the Futura signed.
Wow. What can you give us any idea what kind of vehicle you'll be wearing those in?
Yeah, what I'm gonna be doing is switching up with different people. We're going to be going in a Hummer. My teammate Mike Malbone, who is the head of Frank's Chop Shop, the barbershop and clothing line, secured us a Hummer and a and a good friend of mine, Ron James, who's the owner of Delaron Vodka, is also coming, and he's bringing a Maybach and a Phantom. So I'm going to be co-piloting with him invariably on the Phantom as well.
It's so hot here right now because of all this fire we're talking about that's going to be on Gumball. Yeah, we're setting off alarms in here.
Yeah, we
so
have the fire alarm.
That's how it is. Hey, speaking of setting off alarms, if you set off that you know what it is, you know, that breathalyzer, and that alarm goes off, there's only one guy that I want you guys to call. And Shout Out Sundays officially begin with a special shout out to Gary Trichter. Who?
Gary Trichter.
That's right, Gary Trichter, Houston's top DWI lawyer. And if you're going to hang out with us and drink, make sure you guys have a non-drinking designated driver, just like my man Tito right over here, or take a cab or a limo, or take one of these fine-tuned cars out here in the parking lot. I don't care, but both cost a lot less than calling Gary Trichter.
Oh, yeah.
If you do decide to drink and then drive, do not have any open containers of alcohol in your car. Follow the traffic laws religiously. Do not give an officer a reason to stop you, because if you do get stopped, you're going to have to answer questions. You're going to be on video, and it's not going to be a pretty sight.
Not pretty.
We might look pretty here or sound pretty here on the podcast on Sports Rap Live, but you're not going to look pretty in that police vehicle.
Not at all.
No, absolutely not. And if you're on Gumball and you just happen to get pulled over, you weren't going fast enough. So I'm sorry. You won't be able to call Gary Trichter for that. But remember that a DWI is going to cost you up to $12,000. And I know you don't want to just throw $12,000 away. So put this number in your phone at 713-524-1010. Once again, 713-524-1010.
Locked in.
And if you want to have more information about the law, go to texasdwilaw.com and check out the Cowboy Lawyer. He will take care of you. All right, well, the Rapp Sheet continues in the Wild Wild West as we had Lakers versus Thunder. And I literally yesterday thought, hey, the Lakers are going to tie this thing up. Uh-oh, I heard the flush.
Yeah, it's done.
I heard the flush. Is that a royal flush?
It's a bad flush. It's a Kobe flush.
I think it's over. Guys, I think it's over.
I noticed Kobe was wearing the Grinches, as I like to call them. Somebody politely,
here we go.
Somebody
you want a stat
politely
here?
reminded me
Sneaker
that those
stat.
are the
Sneaker stat.
Christmas cheetahs. But, you know, I call them the Grinches because it looks more like a Grinch than a cheetah to me. Kobe broke out the Christmas shoe yesterday, and I reminded everyone on Twitter that his record wearing the Christmas shoe or the Grinches is not too good. It's 0-3 now, so he might want to leave those in the closet.
Maybe so. Maybe bring out the Dart Frogs.
The Grinch that stole Christmas just stole one in the playoffs, and that was Kevin Durant nailing that three-pointer at the end of the game while Paul Gasol missed some crucial free throws. Shout out Captain Flopper.
Shout out to Captain Flopper and his neck beard.
Hey, you know, they say you are what you eat, though, and we did see Paul Gasol on Melrose when we went to the Los Angeles All-Star game, and he was eating, and he was in the cheese shop. So
Eating cheese and drinking wine.
I'd like to recommend Paul Gasol stay away from that soft, sweet cheese and get some of that hard, funky cheese. That's what you need to be eating there, Paul.
Hey, or some goat cheese. Come on. You don't want to be the bad
Not
goat.
happening.
You want the good goat. But Kobe Bryant calls out Paul Gasol after the game. It's something that Andrew and I were actually kind of going round and round about the other night because you wanted Bynum and Gasol on your squad.
No, I said that Bynum was improved, and you mistakenly said he did not.
Improved statistically?
I said improved.
Improved consistently?
Yes, he is improved. He is improved from the player he was last season. If you want to hold your position that he has not, that is fine. You can be wrong by yourself.
I agree that Bynum had improved, but he had an injury plague, season.
When you watch that first quarter, Adam, he was a much better player than he ever showed he was last season. He was getting he was running the lane, getting dunks, getting rebounds. He was a force.
I'm glad
he was doing really well in the first half.
I'm glad it only took him 6 years to figure this out, that he's 7'2", and he could actually dunk on people.
I'm with you, man. I wish you would have realized earlier.
It's a little late for that because now.
But he's still very, very young, Adam. When he came into the league, he was the youngest player in the league.
He was 18. Oh, he's 25, 26 now. Okay, I understand, but I'm still not going to ride with a guy that laughs after losses and cuts up and then calls out his coach. And
I'm not saying I'm riding with it. I'm just saying, like from our point from last week is that he's improved.
What's your excuse for Captain Flopper then?
Oh, there's no excuse for that.
Thank you.
I tell you what, though, if I could go to any playoff game right now, I'd love to go to a playoff game in Oklahoma City. That environment just looks crazy.
You never know. It might end up on Instagram. Kadoma just decided to fly off to OKC.
Then after the game, you can go get crazy at a country buffet and then go bowling afterwards. That nightlife there is exciting.
Hey, I'm just saying.
That is one wild night in Oklahoma right there,
That's
buddy.
hilarious.
The atmosphere of that game looks crazy. Looks like they ripped all the seats out of that stadium.
Definitely so. All right, well, hey, you know what? There's another series in the West that looks like it could be over tomorrow, and that would
tonight.
I'm sorry, tonight. Yes, the game is on at 9:30, and that is the Spurs.
Actually, it will be over tomorrow with the late start.
That's very true. On all coasts, no doubt. But hey, they're just kind of sweeping Slop City out of the playoffs. This team had no chance with no shooter against the team. Thank you very much.
No, you got to get a broom for that one. That's a sweep.
Yeah, right. We will have to find that.
A sweep that I called, by the way.
Yes, he did. And the Clippers blew a 20-point lead the other day. Which is
24-point lead.
24-point lead. That's
and then
awful.
they give up a 24-point run to San Antonio,
Yep.
in the same breath. And the funny thing about that, San Antonio and that whole miss when they were trying to come back when they were down, did not seem phased at all. They did not seem like they were worried or panicky. They just went about their business, played their defense, passed the ball around, and did what they do.
Well, we saw them the last 5 minutes of the first half. They kind of whittled down that lead to 10.
Yeah.
Within about 5 minutes. So, and then they just came out.
A 10-point deficit for the Spurs might as well be a 1-point deficit.
Well, I'm saying they had a 24-point deficit, and then in the final 5 minutes of the first half, they whittled it down to 10 going into halftime, and then came back out of halftime and just kept whittling away.
14-0 run, and that was a 24-0 run through halftime.
And that to me, that boils down to coaching. You can't blame that on the players on the floor. Pop was able to make the adjustments, and Benny just couldn't compete.
Talk about some of these other guys that have stepped up for the Spurs. Guys you talked about in college. I mean, they have rookies stepping up. They have, got bench players stepping up. They've got guys 1 through 12, including Jax, who we had on the show recently. They got guys 1 through 12.
Kawhi Leonard, for sure. We've seen him play whenever he was at San Diego State.
He's been incredible.
I love his game. One of the mismatches I want to talk about in this series, though, and it's probably the biggest mismatch, is Pops versus Vinny Del Negro. Whenever he started fouling Reggie Evans at the end, it's clear he's a bad free throw shooter. But before that 2-minute mark where it's a non-contact
and they couldn't get him out of the game.
No, they couldn't.
That was the beauty of it.
And what did Reggie Evans go? 3 for 10 in that last game. And afterwards, they interviewed, I think it was Pops after the game. They asked him, why did you basically foul Reggie Evans? And it's like, because he's not good at free throws. I mean, he has a clear strategy that Vinny Del Negro can't even figure out.
But not only that, it's the fact that they kept mentioning they couldn't get him out of the game. They couldn't get Reggie because he was on the line. So every time that they wanted to or had to call a timeout, he's standing on the line. You can't pull that guy out.
The ball would come down to the other side of the court, and they would just foul him immediately. Yeah. And it was like as if the Clippers didn't know what was going on, and all the San Antonio people were like, "We have you beat. You just don't know."
Who started the hack-a-shack? Pop.
Well, it's like
He
it's like playing
created
a
the
game of
hack and
chess,
check.
and you can already see, like, it would be like Bobby Fischer
This is true.
seeing 3 moves ahead that he's already beat his opponent. He's just waiting, you know. It's just a matter of time.
I think Pop's going to go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time. I think I read somewhere that he's rumored to be replacing Coach K for the Olympic team once Coach K is done. And it's just kind of funny to me how you look at another great coach, Phil Jackson, who had that triangle offense or triangle system, how he could just take different players and plug and play and make it work. Pop has the same kind of system where he's got these core guys, and he's able to take these new players that come into the system each and every year and just make it work.
I mean, but there's an argument for Pop being possibly the best coach in professional sports. When you look at the fact that the Spurs' winning percentage is higher than any other winning percentage of any other team in the major four, sports.
It's so stupid.
It's ridiculous.
It's so stupid how this team is the only team in the playoffs averaging 100 points with the guys that you would never put at the top of your scoring list. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one that's consistently making sure they put teams away, they score their 100 points, and they say goodnight.
You want to talk core 4?
Yeah.
Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, Pops. I mean, plug and play whoever else you want on that lineup. They're going to get it done.
I never saw Duncan and Ginobili and Parker walking down a runway with smoke and fireworks saying, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but they could get number 5.
People are going to look back in history and realize that they never even came close to giving Tim Duncan the credit that he deserves as an NBA player. I think, that's just my opinion.
That's very true. Very true. One guy we got to give credit because he is on the soccer beat, and that is soccer talker Luis, and the 2-time champ Houston Dynamo are coming off a 2-game series at the brand new BBVA Compass Bank Stadium in downtown Houston, the opening day game and a night game, and really didn't come out with the greatest of results. But Luis is here. He's going to break it all down as we take you out to the pitch just for kicks right here on Sports Rap Live Sunday Night Wrap Up. Stick around. We'll be right back.